Welcome back to another episode of DP Outdoors. Today we have the Kawasaki Z650 again. However, last time we put the frame sliders on. Today we're going to be removing this big, bulky fender back here with the Fender Eliminator Kit by Vagabond. Stay tuned. Alright, so the first step is to take off your seats. There's a key slot on the left side of the bike. You have to twist that to remove the back seat. And then the front seat, if you grab it on the back end and just pull right up, pops right out. Easy as that. Step one done. Look at us go. Alright, after the seats are off, we're going to be removing these white side fenders. There are 2 bolts, 8mm on each one, on the front and the back. And there's also an Allen bolt right on this black side, right over here, which is holding in the fender. So we're going to go ahead and remove those now. Make sure when you guys are removing these that you're not losing them, that you're keeping them, because we're going to need them to put these fenders back on. Alright, after you have those 3 removed on each side, these pull back and then up, because there's 2 tabs that are actually holding this in place right now. So you pull it back and out. Just like so. The tabs that I was talking about are these right here. And there are 3 of them actually, not 2. I lied. Alright, set that aside. Come over, get the next one. Alright, next step would be to remove the electrical connectors, which run the turn signals and the license plate light. Now there are 3 of them. There we go. Now that that party's over, we're going to be releasing the tail light with these 2 bolts. They're 8mm, and then we will also release the 4 bolts here with the Allen key. Again, as you're removing these, make sure you're keeping the bolts and the washers, because we will be reusing them. Alright guys, I just want to show you this part before I did it, because it's going to be kind of hard to film. But you see this screw right there? That's actually holding your fender on, your factory one. We're going to have to remove that, and then your whole factory fender will just come right off. We will have to undo this little white clip that's holding your wires. It's just on there, just push them out of that clip. But then the factory fender will just come right off. So and go ahead and get to doing that. I just wanted to bring you guys close to show you what's actually there and what I'm doing. I wouldn't call this a pro tip, but I would call it a tip nonetheless. Anytime you're feeding these three cables through, your tail lights, they're not tail lights, but your turn signals and the stuff, make sure you feed the bigger one first, which is your license plate light. That way everything else will just be able to actually fit through the holes. That's kind of frustrating. And you feed the other two, and then you're like, oh, let me feed the third one, and it doesn't fit. It's like, oh, okay. I have my cables fished up through the base here, and I'm going to just align the fender with the holes. There we go. At this point, I take one of your washers that Vagabond sends you, and just kind of throw it on a couple threads just to keep it there. We're going to now put these bolts back in. These two are the taillight bolts, so right now it's just kind of floating there. But in order to actually cinch everything together, we're going to start with those, okay? Go. Remember, black wire in the black one, gray wire in the gray one. Bada bing. It's super straightforward. Some of you guys might be kind of concerned about the wiring. I know I was when I first started getting into this sort of stuff. It's literally color coded, size and color coded. You can't, like, it's hard to mess up. If you mess it up, it's easy to fix.